congratulations on coming here to the third AACTA Awards and your role in The Great Gatsby. How was that? How'd you find it?
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, I had a very small role, so it was a very short shoot for me. Nonetheless, it was great to get back to Australia and be part of such an incredible production. It was very great.
And what was it like actually working on The Great Gatsby? I mean, was it an elaborate film sets, Baz Luhrmann and Leonardo DiCaprio amongst many wonderful actors like yourself? How did you find that, being you're not younger than a lot of the other actors?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to avoid getting starstruck, especially when on a project such as The Great Gatsby. But it really was a fantastic experience. It was very, of course, elaborate, very big and vibrant, and very Baz-esque, I suppose you could say. But it was just an all-round wonderful experience.
And do you have any projects in the pipeline at the moment?
Yeah, I just got back from Bangkok this morning doing a film called AACTA, in which I'm the lead, and then previously this year, earlier in the year, I did a film with Samuel Jackson called Kite in Johannesburg, and then just after that a film called Robot Overlords with Sir Ben Kingsley in the UK. So it's been fun. Yeah.
What is your role tonight? Are you here to have fun, or are you doing a special presentation?
I'm presenting to Jackie Weaver, of course. Yeah, I am the Raymond Longford Award. Yeah, which.
Later in life now with all these things.
She's been here longer than I have in the business. She was already in the business when I started. I have to add that I am older. But she deserves the recognition. She more than deserves it. Her contribution to our industry and to the film industry of the world is fantastic.
So definitely a stage screen, everything that she's done. She's been at one of our legends in the business. She's so lovely. She's still the same as she was when she started.
I told her that and she said,
well, because the truth is she's hard work. But anyway, being that as it may.
But I've got a really good agent in America, and she's really good at choosing stuff for me, and also my manager. I've got a whole team now.
In the US, yeah. Are you spending a lot of time now there?
Well, yeah, I haven't been home to Sydney for 6 months, and I'm only here for 2 weeks, sadly. I'd like to stay 2 months because I've got 2 little grandkids. Well, the south of France last August doing a Woody Allen film. That was pretty good. And I was in Berlin doing a film with Ryan Reynolds. That was fabulous. And I've just finished a film in Puerto Rico with John Cusack. And I'm about to go to Vancouver to do a series with David Tennant and Anna Gunn and Nick Nolte.
Oh my goodness! Is there anyone you haven't worked with that you would like to have on your wish list? Because you've crossed off a few, I'm sure.
George Clooney.
Oh, wouldn't we all like to be with
I
George
think so.
Clooney? That's the number one in everybody.
Internationally, how do you think Indigenous people are perceived on the acting as actors?
It's interesting because when we did the Sapphires last year and we did a lot of international publicity, it's really interesting because there were some parts of the world that had no idea, never heard the word Aboriginal before. So we were going over there going, yes, we are Indigenous to Australia. So it was I think it was an eye-opening experience for all of us and for people who met us. And they wanted to know more. They were very fascinated and very interested in our country and our culture. And that was off the back of seeing the film Sapphires. They wanted to know more, and I think that was really, really wonderful to see that people were going, what is this? We don't know. And then there were other people actually knew more than some people know here. So it was a bit of both, and it was really beautiful to go overseas and be part of a film like Sapphires and showcase our story in this way. And it was just a very tiny snippet for people to go, and it just opened their eyes up and a little bit, and they were asking questions, which was really fantastic.
Can I just ask one question? How important is the role of Australian Indigenous actors in the Australian filmmaking?
Well, I think what's really amazing is that a lot of the young directors have been friends of mine through Australia, and I just think there's no question that, like when we were making Romeo and Juliet in Mexico, there were lots of young Mexican filmmakers. One of them was a guy called Alfonso Cuarón, hanging around Romeo and Juliet, and I just see that happening in Indigenous filmmaking. There's their own language, there's their own cinematic, it's not one style, but they're not in a way caged in any way, you know? It's like they can make any story any way, and it's really it's one of the exciting layers of the Australian industry right now, and I really mean that. I mean, you're always on the lookout for what's going to happen next in terms of Indigenous film.
It's amazing being nominated tonight for Best Screenplay, and it's really exciting for myself personally and also for the series Redfern Now.
And what do you think the role of Redfern Now and Indigenous films in internationally and in Australia? How do you think we're perceived?
I think Redfern Now has woken up the Australian public to show good stories, not stereotypical stories, but good stories, tough stories, and stories told with love.
Can you tell us about episode 3, Babe in Arms?
Episode 3, Babe in Arms, it's about a couple that one's Indigenous, one's not Indigenous, and they've brought home a new baby, and they struggle with that. So the story's about how they cope with that and their relationship fractures.
And I see that Redfern Now has been, got lots of nominations. So what do you think? Is he going to clean up the carpet tonight?
I hope so. It'll be good. I mean, I think just the fact that we've been recognised is a pat on the back for everybody involved, and if we win, we win. If not, we'll go to the after party.
All in all, Redfern Now is a great series, and congratulations on being nominated.
Cool, thank you.
So we actually have a healthy industry, but we actually need more money here, and how do we get that? I don't know. The government would be a great one, but also we need to find a way for to increase private investment, whether that be more tax breaks or whatever, I don't know. Writers, that's our key. We need more great writers. So if you're a writer, get cracking.
Well, I was going to say,
there you go.
What advice would you have for two sort of up-and-coming screenwriters and filmmakers?
Just do it. Just write. And send your stuff to people and get people to read it. And don't be afraid to send it to people and let them ask them what they think and see if they'll be involved and attached.
All right, you can be expecting a screenplay in your letterbox on Monday.
Man, I'm up for reading it. I'll do it.
Thank you so much.
Good on you. Cheers, man.
Well, thank you. Well, writing The Great Gatsby was both a joy and a terror, because every day that we were working on the film, people would come up to Baz and myself and they'd say, "Oh my goodness, The Great Gatsby is my favourite book of all time. I read it every year. I can't wait to see the film." So that filled us with nothing but trepidation and horror. So, really what we tried to do was honour that text and to really honour the love that people have for that great work. So we felt Fitzgerald hovering above our shoulders as we were writing, and it was a long process, very long process. First thing we did was to try and really understand the book and what Fitzgerald was trying to say. So we spent a long period, many months, just breaking the book down and reading it over and over and over again and really trying to understand it. And then we slowly, from there, whittled away and built up the screenplay. Because of course, when you're writing a film out of a book, even though it's a slim book, still it's a lot about making choices about what's in and what's out, but also how to turn into action things that are going on inside people's heads.
I'd just like to congratulate you on being nominated. And,
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's nice to be nominated. You've got to share the moment with three other personnel, and that goes on for a while. You're sort of happy to be in the league with the other three, but you secretly say, die. Okay, but then again, you realise that it's not up to us. It's up to people upstairs who make those decisions, and that's the fun thing about it, is to have people recognise your work and you go, well, you do it because you love it, and these are just bonuses that come on. Working with the ABC, there's not a quid in it, but it's good to put on the mantelpiece, keep the door open at least.
And what do you think? How do you think the role of blackfella films and all different films for Indigenous people overseas is being found, being received, and in Australia? I mean, we seem to have a lot of films getting out their television series and films and voiceovers and a number of different projects in the pipeline.
It's really nice because a lot of the stories have been sitting dormant for so long. We've had a lot of actors in front of the camera and a few trainees behind, but that was over a decade ago and more, and it's their time to shine. So they've rehashed us old actors and drag us out because they now have a talent and tool to use us in. So that's gratifying to know that the levels set by the producers and the directors and the artistic aspects of it all before the actors and the writers in particular. How do the writers get that, put their stories or make it viable for a non-Indigenous audience as well as Indigenous? And then to have that acclaim international as well with other Indigenous communities around the place is a bonus. So it's a great movement at the moment, and it's like an oak tree. You plant the seeds, you watch it grow, you nurture it, and let it blossom.
What else is happening?
Yeah, I just come from the centre of Spring in Melbourne, flown up on the 6 a.m. flight to go back to Spring.
Never in the
So
does that mean you won't be partying on flight too?
Oh, I didn't say that.
I think too we've got so many talented people like Rove McManus and Russell Crowe and people who have made it on their own in other countries but always call Australia home, and I think that's what I'm so proud about here tonight. There are Australians here who have broken out and made it in the US, UK, Europe, around the world. I know Robert's next filming project is going to be for Southeast Asia, working with Discovery Kids. So it's having that global presence and honouring Australia.
You just answered my next question. What was Robert's new project? And what about you, Bindi? What do you have coming in the pipeline? What are you working on?
Well, I'd love to continue with television filming, but movies and films, they are my passion in life. So I find that acting is so much fun. I've had a few acting roles over the years and have absolutely fallen in love with it. So over the coming years, I'd love to continue with my filming work and hopefully take on bigger roles. And as I get older, I want to continue to spread my message of wildlife and conservation to a greater audience. And I think through filming and television, that's the way to do it. So I'm excited to see what happens in my life, and I'm excited to make a difference on planet Earth.
Starting an industry for the last 2 years, what's the biggest sort of starstruck moment you've had? I'm probably over it now, but...
It's just great when you go overseas to the international festivals and you see these people who are just your idols, and you sort of see them up there, just talking to normal people about film and events like this, people just who love film and appreciate film. So, yeah.